Right, here we go. We're going to be talking about the full moon in Aquarius. Yes, it's another supermoon on August the 1st. Now, we just had a supermoon on I think it was the 3rd or the 4th of July in Capricorn. We have another supermoon coming in Aquarius on August the 1st. And then we have another supermoon coming in on the 30th of the month in Pisces, blue moon. All right. This full moon is going to bring up a lot of mentalism. Just be aware of what is going to happen within the mind. Of course, it is going to affect everyone differently, but just be aware of the intensity of this full moon. Now, if you caught my recent upload on the August forecast, do check that out, as it will give you more information about the theme of the month, which I feel is going to be pertaining to relationships under the influence of the universal month number 6. And that universal month number 6 is all about love. It can be romance, it can be compassion, it can be nurturing within ourselves and others. You know, it could be a love relationship, it could be family, it could be those who are closest to us, it could be within ourselves. And this full moon could very well trigger a lot of mental activity. So just be aware of what the mind is signaling to you at that time of the full moon. It's really important to work with this energy, not to be distracted by the uncomfortable aspect of it or the negative aspect of it, but what is it really bringing up to the surface that you may need to identify within yourself. Now, I did upload some posts over on Instagram around some of the shadow themes of the month of August that we can work on to break through some limitations through our shadow and through our subconscious beliefs. One of them is going to be about expression. So under the influence of Leo, we have Leo season currently, and it is going to be in full force during this full moon in Aquarius on the 1st. One of the shadow traits that you may want to focus on is expression. How are you showing up in relationships of any kind in a way of shining your light, being your true authentic self, and expressing from your heart? Are you holding back? Is there fear? Are there blocks? Are there limiting beliefs of being judged or shamed or criticized? What is holding you back from fully expressing yourself authentically? The next one is going to be pride. Pride can conceal ourselves. It is tied to our ego, and it can be very restrictive of how vulnerable we feel we can be. And vulnerability is a strength. The more vulnerable and open and expressive we can be, the more we can give, the more we can inspire, the more we can create, the more we can just feel free and liberated to be our true authentic self. And so this can be one of the barriers that we might face around this full moon. These energies could be heightened and amplified during the full moon because full moons do intensify the energy within us and around us. And so even those who are not working on this consciously, working with the lunar cycles and aware of the full moon, aware of the new moons and all the other phases within the lunar cycle, they will feel this energy in a very unconscious way. But the whole point of doing this work is to become more aware, is to become more conscious of our feelings, our emotions, our actions, our thoughts, what is holding us back, what is limiting us, so that we can open up for more, so that we can create more awareness and even enlightenment within our existence. And so these full moons are very important. When we have triggers within ourselves, within our mind, within our emotions, within our energetic being, those triggers are really good. And those are the perfect moments to go deeper into your practice, to see really where they are coming from so you can understand more about yourself. And as I mentioned with Aquarius energy, Aquarius can be very individualistic. Aquarius can be very analytical, very intellectual energy. But sometimes our analytical self can override our heart, can override our emotional self, our emotional being, and the aspect of being vulnerable and connected and empathetic towards others and within ourselves. So it very well could bring up a lot of, as I mentioned, mental thoughts and even scatteredness. Is going to affect everyone differently, of course, but just pay attention to this energy around the full moon of your connectedness with your heart and connectedness with empathy and with others. And see where you can maybe drop out of the mind and let go of the thoughts and overthinking and get more into the heart. And this is a fine exercise of balance. We do have that South Node in Libra, which I mentioned in the other video of the August forecast, which just shifted. We just had that nodal axis shift where now we have the South Node in Libra, which could be pertaining to karmic ties or even relationships that we need to conclude or change within ourselves or within our outer world with the relationships we have around us in order to align more with meaningful relationships or relationships that are more imbalanced with ourselves, with what is important for us, with our heart, with our emotions, with our deeper self. And if we overthink situations and if we're too much in the mind and we're not using our emotions or we're not using our intuition, then we're going to have a great disconnect with relationships and within ourselves and with the connectedness of the values we have pertaining to relationships and pertaining to what matters to us the most. And during full moons, as I've mentioned before, full moons are a very potent time for release, for illumination, for discovering more within ourselves and with our outer world, our relationships, and those around us. So use this time with this full moon to release any barriers, any fears, any limitations, any false beliefs that you have around relationships, around love, around your perception on connectedness and closeness. And that is going to allow you to dismantle some of the layers so you can be more authentic, more open, and create meaningful relationships without the fear, without the restrictions, without the old subconscious beliefs that reside deep within the shadow. And I really encourage you to try and reach your true heart, your true essence, and soften up, get out of the mind and slow things down, because during supermoons are when the moon is closest to the earth, closer to the earth than normal, and the energy naturally will intensify. So how can we let go of the intensity of what might be happening within our mind, or if there's anxiousness, anxiety, uncertainty, how can we let go of that and soften up a little bit, move into our heart and create closeness within ourselves and with other people as well. During full moons, I always recommend to journal, to write down what you want to release. Is there anything that's holding you back from expressing yourself, from being your authentic self, from not worrying if people are going to judge or criticize or walk away? How can you shine more? And what is holding you back from doing so? And so also think of what you may have initiated during the new moon in Cancer and use this full moon as a progression from that new moon in Cancer as an ability to resolve and release any limiting beliefs or barriers or resistance within yourself that prevents you from reaching your full manifestation that you may have initiated during the new moon in Cancer. But if you didn't set new intentions and you're going to work with this full moon, I would definitely work on releasing, letting go of the barriers, getting honest with yourself, being true with yourself, letting go of pride as well, and being open. Dropping the shields and the veil of pride and ego and even the subconscious beliefs or the shadow aspect that is concealing and holding you back from being your authentic self, from sharing your light, from expressing from your heart, from not worrying about the worst case scenario and being you and trusting yourself and trusting your ability to inspire others, to connect with others, and to express from your heart, to express from your authentic self. So if anything is getting in the way of that, there's a lot of overthinking. Sometimes we can process a lot within our mind to make things, to justify our actions or our feelings. So it is a very authentic practice with this one. Try to be authentic and drop into the heart. Try not to overthink so much, but if the mind is active and if there are a lot of thoughts coming up at that time, be aware of what those words or those thoughts are going to be, because that will offer you some clues into your deeper self, into your subconscious that might need to be resolved, let go, adjusted, or released. So as I mentioned, journaling, writing everything down on paper, getting really clear. You can go into a heart opening meditation to connect with your heart, just listening to your heart, feeling into it, connecting with your true self, not allowing the mind to come in and create stories or to create narratives or to justify certain situations or actions or beliefs, and come into it from your authentic self. Come into it from that place of authenticity and write down any of the energies and thoughts and beliefs and limitations and fears that need to go, that you want to release from, that you want to break through so you can shine more. Also light a sage or Palo Santo to clear the space, to make way for new, giving thanks to the experiences that we've gone through, because yes, even the challenges, even the difficult times give us opportunity for great growth. And we must honor that. We must honor the difficult times as well as the good, because it is all part of our experience. And then finally, I always love running a salt bath, allowing for the old energy to dissipate, to wash away, and making space for the new as you step out of the bathtub or the shower, and putting your feet onto your new reality and feeling into your authentic being. Feeling into your authentic self, how you want to express, how you want to share, how you want to love, how you want to be without the fear and the limitations and the restrictions. All right, so I'm wishing you all the best during this full moon in Aquarius on the 1st. Until next time, I will be seeing you very soon. Take care.